Fridays this year.
It's a feast of rugby league, that is for sure, and boy are we in for a great 40 minutes. Okay, Leeds might be leading by that 6 points, but Warrington, they will have had the confidence lifted by their coach Tony Smith, and apart from just a couple of errors in defence, especially late in that half, it could have been a different story, but at the moment the Rhinos holding that 6-point advantage.
The kick-off from Stefan Ratchford, collected by Zach Hardacre. And Warrington here now. Well, they'll look to score first early, I think, in this second half, and just get themselves back into this match. They're not far off the pace, there's no doubt about that. Two good sides we're watching here tonight. Two heavyweights of the First Utility Super League.
Well, the Wolves really took it to Leeds, didn't they, early in this game? And you've got to credit Leeds pack. They've worked hard.
Good run from Ayton this. And it's Chris Bridge who gets to him with Ben Westwood, who might have got just a bang in the face for his pains there. And Maguire under pressure from Anthony England gets the kick away. Catches it in the field of play. 2 steps over the touchline. Sorry, he says.
Yeah, inexperience.
Not much he could do either, by the way. It's a great kick.
There wasn't Eddie as well. He's got Tom Briscoe breathing down his neck. He thinks all I've got to do is catch this ball on the full. Obviously, the awareness of where he is on the pitch, that will come with time. But in the first half, the response and reaction from Warrington in the main was good enough to cover the mistakes they made.
Well, they have to cover this one now because Leeds begin here midway inside their half of the field. Peacock will take it to the 20-metre line. Ayton pointing to the right-hand side. That's where he goes. He finds Maguire. Maguire then to Sinfield. Sinfield gives the pass to Stevie Ward.
Talking of Paul Ayton, he's added a new dimension to this Rhinos outfit. Look, nothing better than to scamper away from the dummy half.
Delaney goes down, tackle number 4, bang in front of the post, 10 metres away. There's Ayton. Ayton then to Ablett. And Ablett, keeping the legs pumping, he gets to the line. And it takes 1, 2, 3 there, and someone else was involved and peeled away. Has he got this ball down? He's appealing that he has. The referee, Ben Thaler's not interested. Here is Hardacre. Wide they go to Watkins. Watkins is braced back by brilliant defence.
I think there was a chance that Carl Ablett dropped that ball. I think there's a drop. The ball's come away now. I think Carl Ablett could have dropped that ball.
I don't think he dropped it, Brian. I think he tried to promote it when he was already tackled. He's tackled there, then moves it forward. Just while after that happened, young Gene Ormsby was in the tackle that prevented Leeds from scoring. Good on him.
Well, if it moves after being tackled, it should have been a double move, but it should have been a penalty.
Well, it was. The tackle was complete, and then he then put up the ball over on the line, so it should have been a penalty.
Well, there it is. The tackle is complete. Well, does he try and move the ball forward?
Yeah, he does.
Was his ball-carrying arm on the ground? Anyway, it's now academic. 12-10 to Saints at Langtry Park. Hull were 10-6 up at half-time. Big night for the memory of Steve Prescott at Langtry Park tonight. Our thoughts, of course, are with the family and everybody who is at St Helens this evening for that big night. And our tribute to Steve Prescott, 7 o'clock on the 6th of March. It's on Sky Sports 1, Super League Superstars. And there is no bigger superstar in the Super League than the name of Steve Prescott.
Here.
Ayton for Leeds. Gives it to Peacock.
Well, he's getting on in years, isn't he, Peacock? But he still grinds it out and still has the ability to twist and turn. He attracts 2, 3, sometimes 4 would-be defenders.
Steve, it's his athletic ability that gets him through games. He's as fit as anybody half his age, but what he's got that mental toughness, that steel, that resilience that's come through battle after battle after battle. Both him and Kylie Luluai were very good for Leeds last weekend, and they've been good so far.
Moon will hoisted high. This might have snow on it when it comes down. Sinfield went for it, knocked on, so 0 is the call. Ormsby hangs on, tries to fend away. Does well, actually. It's a good contest between him and Ayton and Watkins. That's the 0 tackle.
Yeah, he's a big unit, isn't he? Ormsby.
Just the one error from him.
Yep.
But he had no option because the ball was going to land in the field of play.
Well, I suppose a more experienced winger may have tried to get the foot over the line before he took the ball, but it's easy to talk about it from up here.
It is. O'Brien will play it. Monaghan and Anthony England. Tell you what, England and Ormsby, they've both shown up well in this match for the Warrington Wolves. England hoping to do a Chris Riley, Chris Hill, hoping to do a Zach Hardaker, as Barry rightly said.
He's living his dream, Anthony England. I'm sure when he was playing in the championship clubs, he dreamt about a stage like this on a night like this.
Ryan Hall collects the kick and then collects the tackle.
And that's where the power in the legs come into use, not just in scoring tries, but when he took that ball, he went down quickly and just dug the boots into the ground, make sure that he wasn't taken back in the in-goal area.
Jamie Peacock exits stage right. He just takes a breather. He goes off and replaced by Kylie Luluai.
A little wonder he takes a breather, Eddie. We're 6 minutes into the second half, and Jamie Peacock has racked up 35 tackles already in this game and carried the ball more than anybody else in his side. So you're absolutely right, a well-earned breather. To think that he's knocking up those sorts of figures at his age, as many tackles as he is years old, it's incredibly impressive.
It is indeed. He was the top tackler for the Rhino last year, top in the meters made and the carries tally as well. Looking as good as ever, isn't he? And a new 2-year deal signed last month, so he's going to go on at least until he's 38.
And Eddie took his seat and sat down to another young front rower. Brad Singleton, making his way in the game, would do well to listen and learn off that man.
England now will take it forward, a good run, and
that should have been a penalty. Luluai definitely flopped.
That's a nice run from Ben Curry. The run from England actually took Ayton off his feet, didn't it? Here is O'Brien. O'Brien stabs it through. Ooh, and there's a bit of a miss up there for Leeds. And it's Hall to the rescue.
Well, it looked like Ben Evans was going to get a hand to that. Well, I must say, they really have been fortunate there.
It's another beautiful touch of the kick. Gareth O'Brien on this occasion. When you keep the ball on the ground, it doesn't bounce up for Zach Hardaker. He's waiting and waiting for that ball to bounce up. The alternative is going down to scoop it up, which is plenty of chance to knock it on when that happens. That's a very delicate and a very skillful kick put in by Gareth O'Brien, the replacement halfback in this game.
Well, I tell you what, it has been a very troublesome night for Danny Maguire. He really has struggled during this game. And that's another occasion when he couldn't bend down and get to it as quickly as possible.
Here he comes again, Ben Curry. Two tackles gone.
You just get the feeling that Wolves are slowly but surely getting into this game. That'll help.
Yes, it will. You said earlier that Luluai could have been penalised. He is now.
Well, I think this is a case of, he could have been penalised earlier and he doesn't get the marginal one the second time. It's a good message for the referee to give out.
And Evans is dumped to the ground. Here is Monaghan. Now it's England again. I say it's a fearsome sight when he hits the ball at pace, is Anthony England. Michael Monaghan pops it up to O'Brien. O'Brien then spreads it to Myler. Myler then looks for the support from Raxford. Here is Atkins.
Great tackle there by this captain, Kevin Sinfield, right round the ankles.
Michael Monaghan to Richard Myler. Good tackle by Ayton too. Luluai again involved. This is Michael Monaghan once more. O'Brien, back it comes. Raxford at full stretch, manages to get away to Joel Monaghan. And he goes down.
Poor pass.
That's the last one.
They had the opportunity there. They're just not linking correctly.
O'Brien, little dink over the top. And Sinfield was taken in the air by Waterhouse. All that pressure, all that good approach play ruined in a split second. He's in the air. Watch as he's tackled there.
Yeah, lack of concentration. Sinfield very quick to turn to the official and say, well, I was in the air.
sometimes we're very quick to criticise some of the younger players that would make that mistake. That's one of the most experienced players on the field, an Australian international, that didn't show the patience necessary to just let Kevin Sinfield come down, wrap him up, and then you could easily, somebody at Trent Waterhouse's side, could easily push him over. But again, that's an experienced player, does it? It just shows you in the pressure of a game, mistakes can happen. Ryan Bailey knocks the ball up.
Yes, there's a mistake from Bailey, so here come Warrington again with Westwood.
But was it an error or was it snatched backwards?
It was more than one in the tackle, wasn't it?
Well, it looked as though there may have been a hand. Either way, Warrington will not be complaining.
They won't. Here is England again.
They don't have to panic, the Wolves. They're in a good position. There's plenty of time left.
And Monaghan, the experienced hand on the tiller. And he gives it to Evans again. Ben Evans, the four-time Welsh international. Michael Monaghan, here is O'Brien. O'Brien finds Bridge out the back. Bridge with a good pass to Monaghan. There was bodies on the floor in front of Monaghan. He gets to come back to the left-hand side. Gets up though, plays the ball. And here is Ratchford.
Should be a penalty. Maguire didn't get back the required amount. As soon as he touched him, the penalty was given. Good refereeing by Thaler.
Well, this is a glorious opportunity for the Wolves. The pressure is mounting on this Leeds line. Michael Monaghan knows that. He runs laterally. Still running laterally, Monaghan. They were waiting for the pass, it never came.
Zach Hardaker right on the money again.
Myler, drive in by the big Mellors. It's Ben Evans. Monaghan. Myler, good hands again. Ratchford, and Ratchford, great tackle by Hardaker. That's a try saver. O'Brien dabs the ball in, and that's easy for Ryan Hall.
Nice ball work by the winger.
Brilliant by the fullback, Zach Hardaker, on that occasion. How has he stopped Stephen Ratchford here? Drove him up, no opportunity to reach out and plant the ball down. You picked him up very earlier on for getting his hand in the right place, stopping a defender. Front on, that was a brilliant tackle.
And what he's had to do, he's had to get on his bike and save his team. And Ryan Hall trying to get forward. We see the penalty that Warrington give away. Ben Curry, who just moves the legs of Ryan Bailey. Zach Hardaker. He's had a terrific game tonight. He's been absolutely everywhere in attack and defence.
Saints being given a torrid time by Hull FC by the looks of things, but they've increased the lead to 18-10.
But it's so small.
Knock on!
Oh, that is a big error. Well, I was just about to say that Warrington had paid the price of going in with two errors. Remember the penalty that Waterhouse gave for taking out Sinfield in the air. Was that a finger? Was it a hand in it? Either way, Singleton's been accused of knocking on.
I think he's got to keep hold of that one. It was pressure on the ball, that's all.
You can't slap it out of his hand, Stuart.
Hey, you would never have the ball slapped out of your hand, Barry.
Michael Monaghan from the base of the scrum. Myler's coughed it up on the first tackle. Giving it to Stevie Ward. Over the top it goes. Briscoe is knocked on.
Boy, he had an open channel as well, and he knows it.
I think he'd bring it back for the first knock on.
Yeah, it was the play.
Free play. You see, that's where the rule is a bit questionable, isn't it, Stuart, really? Don't you think?
Well, I think it's encouraged them to try and get the ball out wide. We saw it in the first half a couple of times. Leeds kept hold of the ball on the free play and tried to run it, unlike last night where we saw the ball kicked away and it took a while to come back. That's the first pass off the ruck. If it caught it, he would have been away down the wing.
Either way, another error from Warrington. On this occasion, it was Richie Myler. And if there was ever anybody to point out how difficult it is, you got to keep your eyes on the ball. He took his eyes off the ball.
It's a nervy period of play from both sides, really. It was also great defence from Zach Hardaker. Some uncharacteristic errors straight off a scrum on that occasion. I think the team that settles Eddie in the next couple of sets could go on ahead and forge ahead in this game.
Stevie Ward was almost through. Waterhouse and Michael Monaghan doing the job on him. Here's Paul Ayton. Gets the ball away again to Brad Singleton. He'll try and hang on this time for dear life, which he does. Midway inside the Warrington half of the field, with Ayton to Peacock to Maguire. Now here's Sinfield. Oh, drop of the shoulder from Sinfield. Important tackle by Myler. Hardaker. Maguire dabs it in. Well picked up. Well picked up by Ben Curry.
Yeah, got himself into a good position as well, did Curry. But again, it just shows how that the Rhinos, when they get into a lead, they know exactly what to do. Just put that little dink in, the little kick.
Do you know,
under pressure.
Sorry, Steve, I don't think either one of these sides is panicking. I think they're prepared to wait until the last minute, if needs be, to win this game. So no panic from either side. There's only 6 points in it, and they're willing to grind it out until the right moment in time to deal that killer blow.
40 metres from their own line. Warrington get a bit further forward now, to halfway, in fact, courtesy of Chris Hill. Yeah, right in the centre of the field. Last one, though, here for Warrington. Expect the kick. O'Brien's there. There's the kick. Up and over the top. Finds the ground. Hardaker picks it up on the second bounce.
Good positioning by the fullback, Zach Hardaker. He's had a wow of the game. So impressive. But Warrington are just chipping away. Got back into the rhythm, especially with the forwards. We saw 2 good runs there, got them in good position. Got to be careful, and it's being penalised.
Penalty given away by Waterhouse, and he's not happy with it.
Set a lazy left arm over the top.
Well, it's the fighting Tom Briscoe that earns this penalty. And speaking to the Leeds Rhinos players, having trained with Tom Briscoe, they're amazed at how strong he is. They think during wrestle and grapple sessions, they think they've got hold of him, they think they can handle him, and he's just got so much strength, and that's what gets him that penalty.
Luluai then takes it forward. Big collision of the big men, Waterhouse and Luluai. Ayton once again goes down the short side. It's Stevie Ward. Myler and Ben Evans deal with the threat on that occasion. Here's Ayton again into centre field to Sinfield. He then finds Maguire. Maguire almost through. Good tackle by Curry and Michael Monaghan. Sinfield back on the inside to Peacock. The arm was free. He was looking to offload.
Good work by Kerry. Make sure that he couldn't get it off.
Maguire and Hardaker. Good defence on show from both these two sides tonight. You've got to take your hats off to them.
Got to get the kick in.
Oh, and Hardaker sees a gap. Oh, it's a soft try in the end. It's a really soft try and a second try for Zach Hardaker. Well, Steve-O was waiting for the kick. The Warrington defence was waiting for the kick. The doors opened up and Hardaker shot through. And Hardaker's second try, and it comes at a crucial time in the match. It just edges Leeds towards victory.
Heading off for the first time, I've been confused. Yep, you're right. I was wanting it, and so was Warrington. And he just threw the dummy, and they were very, very short there. Atkins and Ratchford, they really should have got a hold of this. They were waiting for the kick while Mr. Hardaker said, I'll take try number 2.
You cast your minds back to that game, Eddie, St. Helens against Warrington last week. We were critical when Gary Wheeler stepped back and Fred James Roby, that some of the front rowers had switched off when the play came back their way. Chris Bridge on that occasion will look back and think he switched off. He anticipated a Zach Hardaker kick to the other side of the field, never came, and he got badly exposed in defence.
Well, Zach Hardaker got 2 tries against Warrington in the 2040 playoff defeat last September. He's got 2 tries here tonight, and at the moment the Rhinos are winning this match. But will they hang on for the victory? This kick from Sinfield is crucial. This would push them out to a lead of 2 converted tries. He's not missed yet. I think he's against the wind though right now. He's not missed this one either.
And I should apologise, Eddie. I think it was actually Ryan Atkins on that left, in that left centre position. Chris Bridge, of course, playing right centre. It was Ryan Atkins that had switched off. Anticipating the kick from when it went back to Zach Hardaker. I think he was going to kick to his left. And when they came back, Ryan was one of the players that didn't close across Kevin Sinfield. Well,
what a great boost, Brian, when you've got someone of the experience of Kevin Sinfield. He just keeps adding those extra 2 points. Irritates the opposition.
Yeah, 4-6. And we saw in the Hull FC Catalan game last week, those missed kicks, how much they can cost you. Yes. Catalan Dragons coming back to almost snatch the game in the end.
18-6 Leeds. What you say about Kevin Sinfield and his kicking, he is immaculate with the boot. But last week, 3 from 7. Uncharacteristic statistic like that for the great Kevin Sinfield. 24-10 now, Saints edging away against Hull. Maguire. And here is Sinfield, got the ball away to Watkins, who shuttled it out wide, looking for Briscoe. And again, Briscoe just overrun it slightly.
Yeah, just a lack of communication, really. Very difficult for the winger to say, well, is he going to throw the dummy and then I'll come hang back, or will I just go on to it? Either way, it's a real mess.
We talk about half-backs having to settle in, don't we? Obviously, there is a bedding in process for a centre like Callum and a new winger like Tom, surely.
Oh yeah, it'll take a while. I mean, it's in any position really, especially the two half-backs, and you've just got to make sure that you talk to each other, and it'll come. Let's face it, Briscoe, well, he's got a wonderful start to his career here at Leeds.
He has, and Asatazi is back out for Warrington, will pick himself up and play the ball to Monaghan. Here is Chris Hill.
I'm just wondering when Tony Smith will bring back into the field of play Mickey Hyam.
Well, it's O'Brien. O'Brien then feeds Ratchford. Ratchford gets the ball away under pressure to Chris Bridge. Ablett, and over the top came Singleton. Plays on, and Monaghan was impeded. Monaghan to the line, Michael Monaghan. Push back, they'll give the penalty.
Good refereeing by Ben Thaler. He let the advantage go. The penalty was always going to be given.
Westwood, so chance here for Warrington to immediately strike back. Michael Monaghan again. O'Brien. Myler on the charge is Griggs.
Look how composed that defence from Leeds was. No one came out of the line. Everybody knew exactly what they wanted to do.
Asatazi gave it to O'Brien, who just popped it up then for Ben Curry. There's Michael Monaghan once more. He saw a little gap. He gave the ball to Asatazi. And the Leeds defence stands firm again. Was that a knock on by Michael Monaghan?
He's missed it. He's missed it as the official, I feel.
Back he comes now to O'Brien again. And he caught one for his corner there, and he slipped into Ablett's wrist, I think.
He hasn't given the penalty, he's just given the turnover. That looked like a knock on to me.
I think he might have just have had his left hand on that all the time. The ball was resting on his foot.
Gareth O'Brien. We talked a lot last week about the successor to Lee Briers. And I think the referee just wants, by the way, a word with his touch judge here, Tim Roby. And he's spotted that as Tim Roby. They're going to give a penalty for this.
Not in the history of man is that a penalty. I can't speak. That cannot be a penalty.
Is the contact with the head?
Yeah, if he hits the head, you can't do that.
Every time there's contact with the head. I'll point out another half dozen in this.
Oh, listen, I can point out 100.
There, around the neck, around the head.
But it was a swinging arm.
Fellas, debate it later, because here's Monaghan right under the sticks with Chris Hill. And Chris Hill gets across the line, but he's held up. They'll begin this next tackle from the 10-metre line.
By the way, your Yorkshire accent is disgraceful, Carney. Leeds need to be alert and attentive. It doesn't matter whether it was or wasn't a penalty. Warrington are going to put some real pressure on the Rhinos now.
Yes, they are, with Myler and Michael Monaghan and Chris Hill. He's gone through one, but he can't get away from Luluai and Peacock. Second stages.
Second phase, come on, twist in the tackle.
Monaghan
have someone running onto it.
Monaghan again. Nothing there. It was a one-out job by Michael Monaghan.
They'll be left with nothing but the kick here.
O'Brien, the pass loops into the arms of one. It's with Bridge. That's a knock-on by Ryan Hall. The pressure's mounting on Leeds.
Yeah. There was a little dink into the ground. It was good work there by Chris Bridge. And the winger couldn't take it.
Can I just go back to this business about Lee Breer's replacement? Gareth O'Brien, Stephen Ratchford. Is it 6 and 2 threes? Is Ratchford a full-back? Of course, they've got Matty Russell still to come in, but at the moment they're being forced to play O'Brien in the Breer's role, aren't they?
But my thoughts are Matty Russell's a very good full-back. I'd like to see Stephen Ratchford take that position for a couple of years. I think he's a very talented fullback, and I believe at his best at fullback.
You're right, years is what it takes to learn that job. You're not just charged with running, scoring, supporting. You've got to organise everybody around you, which is what Lee Briers did.
So O'Brien might be the answer then, if that's
I think so, yeah. Give him time, let him grow.
Okay, but we'll see how it all develops. Here is Monaghan as we watch this move develop. Asatazi steps away from Joel Moon. Can't get away, though, from Luluai. Michael Monaghan now. Warrington at full throttle here. Myler, wide it goes to Ratchford. A flick of the fist, a ripped fist there by
He'll bring him back.
Tom Briscoe. It'll come back for the knock-on.
But he saved the try.
He had no choice, Steve-O.
It's
too many numbers running at him.
Yeah, he made a great big gamble and it came off. It's quite often that during the course of the game the winger and the centres will swap around. On that occasion he came in, got the fingertip, he knows it, but more pressure.
Well, how many sets of 6 in quick succession is this for Warrington on this Leeds line?
Well, they've got to come up with something a little
4, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got to,
3, 4.
they're just going one out at the moment, then trying to swing it. Someone asked the question.
Maybe they'll ask the question here. No, if they have asked a question, it's been answered firmly by that Leeds defence. Ben Curry gets to his feet, plays the ball to Michael Monaghan. There's O'Brien, and a little fumble from Westwood, but he hangs on. But he's smothered by blue and amber jerseys. Ratchford. O'Brien pops it up. Asatazi has a run. Great tackle, Ablett. Quick play the ball. Monaghan. Monaghan gives it to O'Brien again. O'Brien. Gareth O'Brien, and he's held up just short. This goal line defence from Leeds is absolutely outstanding. Can it be for another tackle? Myler over the top. Oh, too high for the lad.
Idea was good, but just a touch too high for Ormsby to get to it. You could see there that Briscoe was struggling. If he'd have got a shorter kick, he may have had the wherewithal to get over. He's a big unit.
Well, that really boosts the confidence of the players in the blue and amber of Leeds. 3, 4, 5 sets of 6, and they've still managed to keep their systems, structures intact, and even when everything's breaking down, they have enough attitude about them to keep the Wolves out, and Wolves are throwing everything at them at the minute. I think my friend at the side of me is gesturing that there's a lot of tackles around the head. I can't speak.
I don't have a problem with it, Barry. I just really don't think that was a penalty, the one that was given. You're going to have some contact with the head in this game. We've got to be able to distinguish between contact that's incidental in making a tackle and outright dirty foul play, which should be penalised.
It wasn't dirty, it was a slap, and you can't do that.
I think Stewart should come to the fore here and have the last word.
Well, I'll take Brian's point on some of the contact in the tackles when the tackles are going to the floor, but in that situation I don't see that the referee has any other option but to give a penalty.
Right, line in the sand. That's evaded Joel Monaghan.
And that has turned out to be a tremendous kick. It didn't look all that way, did it? But look at that chase. You know, Brian McDermott will look at some of the quality, especially that wonderful breakaway try that we saw from Tom Briscoe. But he will be telling everybody that it has been the defence. They have been so controlled of the Rhinos tonight in that department.
Ormsby, he's had a really good debut. Okay, he's had a couple of shaky moments, but he's not faded into the background, Gene Ormsby. Credit him for that.
Well, I hope that Tony Smith continues with him, because he's certainly impressed.
And Warrington have Kevin Penny on the books as well, so quite a bit of quality on the sidelines for the Warrington club on the flanks.
Nice kick from O'Brien, just buys Warrington a bit of land. They'll hunt the mistake here from the Leeds head and feet at the scrum.
Well, I agree with the lads up here on the gantry in regards to this fella taking that standoff position. Of course, these days, standoffs go into props, hookers come into loose forward.
The thing is with the replacement for Lee Breers, you're almost trying to replace the irreplaceable, aren't you? Because he directed everybody around the field. I wonder who's going to be the irreplaceable force tomorrow for the Wigan Warriors. Roosters against Wigan, World Club Challenge in the morning, 8:30, Sky Sports 2. Brian heading south as soon as this game is over tonight. And as soon as the extra time programme is over, of course, on the red button tonight. Along with Terry and the one and only Jamie Peacock. So there'll be something to talk about all the way down.
I forget sometimes these players, the superstars, well, they do have the normal lives. I texted Jamie to let him know where the car would be after the game. So I said, sorry to interrupt your preparations. He said, I've got kids, it's a half term, there's no such thing as preparation.
And here he is now on the ball.
I just hope O'Connor doesn't subject him to stories about his career.
Well, I think Jamie might be asleep.
Well, I've got to say,
the case.
Well, it won't last long, will it? The conversation, I mean. Oh, good work, but look how many defenders are there. They've been outstanding, and so has this fella. He always is, 100% every time he pulls on the boots.
I think it's been a good battle, and I know the scoreline is just in favour of the Leeds side at the minute, but Warrington are a far different side this week than they are last week. Ben Westwood gives you the same every single week. I was watching them against Saints, and Benny Westwood put his hand up every time there was a tough carry to take. He does it. He did it in the first half as well. And the point you were making about players playing different positions, the rugby league player in the modern game is a universal soldier. He's about 5'11", 6 foot tall. He's 100 kgs, and he has to be able to play a variety of roles within any game, whether he's got 10, 11 or 4 or 5 on his back.
Where does Rob Burrow fit into that description?
Just smaller than 5'10".
You know, Brian, I thought he was talking about me then for a moment.
Rashford.
And again, look at that defence.
O'Brien to Michael Monaghan. Here's Ben Curry. A great prospect, Ben Curry, as well. Grix, Myler, Asatazi.
We talk a lot about discipline, you know, and it's not just about keeping your arm down, don't give away penalties, but it's that discipline that they have in that three-quarter line out wide, and that is just about sums it up. And the look on the coach's face.
They're different, though, aren't they, to last week, Warrington? I mean, I know they're trying to play catch-up here, they're trying to force the pace, but this is a different Warrington than we saw last week.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a good point to make, Eddie. They probably righted a lot of wrongs that we saw last week, and I think their supporters were generally surprised and maybe a little perturbed by the performance they put in against St. Helens. I think they've corrected that tonight. It is still a very scrappy performance from Warrington. One that the coach will think, well, I've got a lot of work still to do here, because he knows the ability of these players. Richie Myler's just flung a ball straight into touch. That's not good enough from a guy who should be pushing for international honours.
Good run, solid run from Ryan Hall.
He's another winger that likes to go in field and look for hard work. That looked high by Westwood. Stuart?
Well, it was high. I think you mentioned earlier about a player having to bend his knees and get down there to make the tackle. You've got to do the same on Rob Burrow. He has to have the same protection.
Be some duck that, won't it? It'd be some bend in the knees. So Rob Burrow with his agility, and I can tell you, a player with that speed and that threat frightens big fellas to death.
Here comes the last tackle for the Leeds Rhinos. Delaney gets to his feet, plays it to Hardaker. Hardaker tries to go down the line. Oh, this ball is loose. This ball is loose. This is still loose, and it's play on, is it? Maguire dodges the issue there.
Boy, he turned the clock back then, didn't he? Danny Maguire didn't have the speed, but I tell you what, he still has that step.
Maguire penalised, held down by Ben Curry. Maguire gets the penalty, rather, held down by Ben Curry.
They've taken the quick tap.
Here's Bailey. Leeds looking to put the game to bed. That's great defence from Warrington now, forcing him back 10 or 15 metres before he hit the ground. Oh, Burrow stuck under a couple. Myler. He got to him, so too did Simon Grix. Maguire looks infield, gives it to Peacock for taking it towards the sticks. At one point it would do, of course, at 18-6 to wrap things up.
You beat me to it, Eddie.
And Sinfield standing back deep. It comes to Sinfield, and it's a drop goal from Sinfield off the post. Play on. An offside against Leeds. They were all in front of the kick.
You put the mocker on, Eddie. It was a good thing, and great run from Ratford. But a great tackle there by Joel Moon.
Brilliant play from Ratford. Brilliant play, Steve. He needed to get them back on. You mentioned the clock last night. There's 8 minutes left in this game. Kevin Sinfield could have put it to bed, as you rightly said, Eddie. But Stephen Ratford's reaction, that was the main one. Penalty given to the Warrington Wolves. Ratford reacted quickest and now puts Warrington in a great position. They will need to score shortly if they're to get anything out of this game.
Well, Hyam is back on there, and he could just provide the spark.
I tell you what, Leeds are in trouble. Their captain, Kevin Sinfield, he's picked up a knock. He's not well. I think he'll have to leave the field.
O'Brien's kick is well fielded by Hardaker.
Oh, he's been great tonight, Zach Hardaker, and we mentioned the wind and the swirling wind making those high kicks really difficult to deal with. It's been flawless tonight, Zach Hardaker.
Well, Sinfield in a lot of pain, but I don't think he can carry on. He's trying to walk it off out there wide.
This is his face is grimacing with the pain, but he battles on, the skipper.
Well, I think they'll want to get him off. They're trying to make a substitution. Whether the captain will go off or not, have to wait and watch that unfold.
Ablett grounded, gets up quickly, plays the ball. Maguire humps it downfield. Monaghan cuts in off the wing and picks it up. Good chase though by Ablett.
Eddie, that change has been made. Stevie Ward's come onto the pitch. Many good judges think Stevie Ward in time may be the man to replace Kevin Sinfield. He could well be. We're talking about Lee Breers being irreplaceable. There's the man for Leeds that's been right at the fulcrum of everything over the last decade and a bit. We see him limp off.
Ben Curry, meanwhile, for the Warrington Wolves. Time is as big an enemy as the scoreboard for Warrington right now. Hill, they really have to score in the next minute or two.
Yeah, and it's getting a bit tasty out there. And a few of the players just losing their cool.
It's with Griggs, and back it comes to O'Brien. Over the top it goes to Chris Bridge. The rain, by the way, is teeming down right now at Headingley. 6 minutes remaining, 12 points the gap. Warrington must score, you think? Can they get on the end of this O'Brien kick? No, they can't. It's Peacock to the rescue.
And at the risk of turning this into the Jamie Peacock show, you always want to pay tribute to the players. Last night's game wasn't the greatest for purists, but they still put their bodies on the line. Jamie Peacock, on this occasion, as a front rower, has defused this bomb. He's now up to 54 tackles made in this game. That is a phenomenal effort, 54 tackles. Throw yourself into the collision that many times in a game is very, very impressive, and especially for somebody of his age.
And I don't know whether O'Connor will be asleep. I think Jamie might be by the time he gets to the M1. And he deserves a breather as well.
54 games is about 7 games for O'Connor. 54 tackles, should I say.
Downfield, it's caught in the wind, this. Monaghan waits on the bounce, picks it up, goes away from Ryan Hall. Almost gets away from Ablett. He just had hold of his ankle. Crucially, did Carl Ablett.
You know, in the build-up, when Leeds were bringing that ball back into the Warrington defence, who was there? Taking it away, taking the pressure from the forwards, the fullback, Zach Hardaker. What a wow of a game he's had. 2 tries, he's very solid in defence.
Hyam looking to pierce this wonderful rearguard action that Leeds are putting up tonight. Myler, that's Griggs. Again, the ball goes to ground. Again, there's a knock-on by Callum Watkins. Again, the pressure will build on the Leeds defence. But maybe, with just over 4 minutes to go, maybe too late.
Well, when you're leading by 18 points to 6, Eddie, you can take the chance like that. If it was within 2 points, Callum Watkins would have just dropped on that ball. Nothing fancy, especially with the rain just pounding down now. But when you've got that latitude and you know there's only 4 minutes remaining.
So here come Warrington. Score here, it might just be on the big comeback, but Atkins goes down on the first tackle.
You've got to say that Mickey Hyam's perhaps the man that can do it.
Or Ben Westwood.
Well, if he gets nose close to the line here, Mickey Hyam throws the dummy as it's scored.
Westwood went forward on hands and knees then, and he has got the ball down, and he thinks he's definitely scored. And Ben Thaler has just handed this up. He wants to check whether the tackle was completed or not. So over to you, Steve Ganson and Ian Smith. Stuart.
Well, it's whether the tackle was completed at any point. Does the ball or the ball-carrying arm hit the ground? I don't think it did from looking up here, and he just kept on going. Certainly at that point, nothing's hit the ground. He's still moving forward. Still can't see whether the ball's hit the ground, and he puts it on the line. I think this is a try.
I agree with you there, Stuart. And it's a very lax defence. They thought that they'd done enough. But he gets it down. The ball carrying arm, I do not think hits terra firma. So this should be TRY, and Warrington have got a lifeline from their captain.
Fantastic strength from Westwood, isn't it?
Well, we've been talking about Jamie Peacock and his warrior spirit. There's another one in the colours of Warrington who hasn't given up all game, just like he did last week.
Try to Ben Westwood is right. Stephen Ratchford is already waiting to take the conversion attempt. The touch judges are ready. Ratchford pops the ball over. Hang on to your hats, folks. All down the hatches with this rain falling.
What a finish and what a run. Power with the legs, the ability, upper strength there. And the Leeds defence, they thought they'd done enough, but they hadn't.
First time the Leeds defence really has been caught out here on their own line.
Yep.
What an effort from Westwood that was.
Well, it's given him an outside chance, and could they come back to rue the fact that that missed attempt to the one-pointer from Kevin Sinfield? Remember, it was close, it hit the post.
Well, they've got 3 minutes remaining, Warrington, to rescue a point. And remember, I think it was in round 2 last year they got a draw, didn't they? Wasn't that in the game at Wigan? It was a thriller that night, and we're getting another thriller here this evening in the second round. And that thickness of a post that robbed Kevin Sinfield of the drop goal, which would have really pushed Leeds to the finish line. Well, it might come back and haunt them.
Yeah, and they've got to be very, very cautious now, Leeds. Don't give away a silly penalty.
And it's still on here. They kept the ball going, and it's with Bridge.
Westwood again, Eddie. Wasn't tackled, offloaded it.
Nicky Hyam. Hyam goes down the short side. Here is Myler, and Myler is through. Myler tips the ball back. It's Gareth O'Brien. It's fantastic defence again. Wonderful attack. Fabulous defence.
Well, it went for the power play. That's been the turnover. The tackle from Hardaker was superb. I think it was Maguire, was it, that got back? Either way, it was a Leeds player. Unbelievable finish to this.
Yes, Warrington have got the sniff of something here. This drop goal attempt, that's how close it was to wrapping the points up. As it is, we've got a nail-biting finish in the last minute and a half, and Sinfield watching on knows that hit post was so close to wrapping up the game. As it is, Leeds coming forward now with Ayton.
And what a brave little run there from Danny Maguire.
But look why Warrington have restricted Leeds here. They're only at halfway. This is the last tackle. The kick has to be good. Main kick is off. Maguire off the back of Westwood. But it was off the back of him, but it sure was ball hitting the man, not the other way round.
There's enough time for a set of 6 for Warrington. That's why they're rushing to pack the scrum down. There is a ricochet.
That was good thinking, though, by Danny Maguire. Not only did he take the ball up to making sure that they got to the halfway line, he made sure that he got this kick away, that the ball played the man, so it's definitely the Wolves' head and feed. Yes. Now then, there's no one in the full-back position. Will they do a kick and chase? Have they got the message out to Ormsby out there on that left wing?
It'd be a fairy tale finish for him, wouldn't it? It would be a fairy tale finish. Saints are beaten whole, they stay unbeaten. Leeds are heading towards 2 wins in a row. Warrington heading to play 2, lost 2. That's the last thing they need at the start of the season. Here comes Hill. He's broken through one, he loses his footing.
Looking tense is Tony Smith, but this has been a wonderful fight back.
It's been a wonderful game. It's been a super game. Here is Myler, dabs the ball through. Briscoe is there, and Briscoe will run it over the line. He'll take the goal line drop out, and with 15 seconds to go, that will probably be that.
I'm not sure his coach will agree that that was the right play. Ryan Atkins, determined run. He just decided to nudge it behind the line, but Tom Briscoe up to the task. What a game.
Fabulous game. No Sinfield, of course, on the field at the moment to boom the kick up the other end. So it's Zach Hardaker. He gets it to halfway to Asatazi. 5 seconds remaining. This is the last play of the game. This is the last play, and that is going to be it. Leeds have won. effort from two sides defensively. Warrington, credit them for the comeback. They're a million times better than they were a week ago.
Well, two fabulous teams on show. We're lucky sometimes to watch rugby league players put absolutely every ounce of effort into the game. You can't accuse Warrington of coming up short. One or two mistakes, things they'll fix up in the week. One or two lapses in concentration, catching the ball, making the tackle, but an outstanding contest here at Headingley. Jamie Peacock in your screen. A manful effort from him defensively.
Yes, wonderful effort from both defences, to be fair, and the narrowness of the scoreline, that really tells its own story. But Leeds have won it, and also Zach Hardacre is the man of the match. Here he is with one.
Zach, really well played in some very tough conditions. That was a really good all-round performance by Leeds, but from you, a really good all-round fullback performance.
Yeah, that's what I'm there to do, save tries and try and create them, so that's the job of the fullback, and we've got some good forwards today. They played really well, and that gave us back some time with the ball.
2 tries you scored, you had a hand in the other one, that brilliant Briscoe try, but people will remember the tackle on Stefan Ratchford as well, which saved a certain try.
Yeah, that's like I say, fullbacks get paid to do that, that's ditch effort, so I'm just happy to get the win. Warrington, I don't think they were the best performance last week, so they were really pumped this week, and it were important for us to get the win, so credit to all the boys, we've done really well.
I don't want to go back and over all the England stuff, but how determined does that mean for you to put it right this season for Leeds and make sure you're firing on all cylinders?
Yeah, it'll kick up backside, I think I needed it as well, so that was last year and that's gone now, so I'm just looking forward to playing this year and trying to get to grand final like we did 2012.
Only 2 games in, but 2 very impressive games from Leeds. You must feel you're going to be up there contending on all fronts this year.
That's it, yeah. We're trying to be good as a team. We're trying to complete our sets and grind them out. That's what we're trying to do this year, and it's worked so far. So let's hopefully keep it going and get to the top of the league and stay there.
Well done, Zach. Top effort tonight. Well done.
Thank you very much, Ian.
Let's bring Jamie Peacock in. Hello, Jamie. You love this game, don't you? These are the kind of games you love playing in.
Yeah, I thought that today, I woke up and 3 months pre-season, I thought I'm excited about today, going out to play against a good side, a determined Warrington team.
They didn't have the best against Warrington last week. You must have expected to come firing at you, and they did late on, didn't they? How nervous were you in the last minute or so?
Yeah, definitely. Towards the last 5-10 minutes, if they scored a try, they could have snatched a draw out of it. We knew they'd come out and play well. They've got some quality players and they've got a great coach.
Just getting the stats. Do you know how many tackles you made?
Too many. They kept coming at me all the time.
60. How old are you again? 25, is it?
Yeah, I feel 60. I'll feel 60 tomorrow, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's it. And you also caught a big catch at the end there, which was very important, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been working on catching them high bombs all pre-season, so it pulled off then.
But I know they've given you another contract as well. You already embody this club, don't you?
Yeah, look, I really enjoy playing it. It's a special job I've got, playing in front of 16,000 people from my own town, and it's really enjoyable, and that's why I wanted to sign another year. I feel I'm really lucky to do this kind of job.
You're a great watch. Listen, we're coming down to join us tomorrow at the World Club Challenge. Are you going to manage to get down there?
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully Wigan can get the win.
Sebastian, thanks, Jamie. Well done tonight.
Cheers, thanks, Rod.
Yeah, he's a warrior. He's a warrior on the field, and well, we're delighted that he's joined us for the World Club Challenge tomorrow, which you'll be able to see, of course, on Sky Sports. And what a match we have enjoyed here tonight from the First Utility Super League. Leeds 18, Warrington 12. It ebbed and flowed throughout, and Warrington so close to a remarkable comeback. But don't forget the drop goal attempt from Sinfield that came back off the post. That is what gave us the finish that we had.